Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to solve day 10 problem of this month on LeetCode. Before starting, if you guys haven't subscribed my YouTube channel yet, then please go ahead and subscribe it. Now without any delay, let's get started with today's problem. Problem number 1733. Minimum number of people to teach. Let's read the problem statement. On a social network consisting of M users and some friendships between users, two users can communicate with each other if they know a common language, right? So these are the friendships, right? So 1 and 2, they are going to communicate with each other only if they know common language. 1 and 3, they both are going to communicate with each other only if they know common language. Same way, 2 and 3 are going to communicate with each other only if they know common language. All right, you are given an integer n array languages and an array friendships where there are n languages numbered from 1 to n. 1 to n. So language 1 and language 2. Okay, done. Languages of I is the set of languages the ith user knows, right? So let's say user 0 knows 1, right? User 1 knows this language and user 2 knows 1 and 2, these languages, right? So this is nothing but a zero based indexing, right? Okay, and 0 1 2, these are nothing but the users. So in total, how many users are there? In total m users are there, right? Here on a social network consisting of m users, so total m value is nothing but 3, right? Done. And here friendships, here it is saying 1 and 2, right? So friendships I uv denotes a friendship between the user ui and vi. Okay, so let's change this to a zero based indexing. So I can say this is nothing but 0 1. Okay, I subtract 1 from here, right? 0, and here this is nothing but 2. Same way, this is nothing but 1 comma 2, right? Zero based indexing, right? So now here we have 0 and 1. Okay, so what we have to do, you can choose one language and teach it to some users so that all friends can communicate with each other. We have to return the minimum number of users you need to teach. Note that friendships are not transitive, right? So if x is a friend of y and y is a friend of z, that's not means that x is a friend of z, right? So this doesn't guarantee that x is a friend of z. All right, so now here if you see this example, so I want user 0 to communicate with user 1, right? This is what I want. So user 0 knows only 1, right? And user 1 knows 2 only, right? User 0 knows only one language, right? Language 1. Same way, user 1, right? He knows only 2, right? So both they both can't communicate with each other, right? So this is a problem, right? This is a problem, they can't communicate with each other. So I'm going to say that 0 and 2, 0 and this 0 and 1, they can't communicate with each other. So I will say that they are nothing but my problematic users, right? Problematic users, right? So I'm going to create one set. So in this set I'm going to add these users, right? So they have problem with each other, they can't communicate with each other. Now here if you see 0, right? So 0 knows 1, and here 2 knows 1 and 2, right? These two languages, so they both can communicate with each other, right? So I'm not going to add them in the set, right? Okay, done. And here 1 comma 2, so 1 knows 2 and 2 knows 1 and 2, right? So they can also communicate with each other, right? So I don't need to add them. So here these are the problematic users, right? These are the problematic users. Okay, so here if you see 0 knows one language and 1 knows two language, right? In total we have total two languages only, right? 1 and 2. And here if you see this user, total number of languages is nothing but 2 here, right? Total number of languages is nothing but 2 here. Okay, and how many total number of problematic users we have? Total number of problematic users are 2, right? And among them this user also knows one language, this user also knows one language, right? One language, and here also one language, right? So max among them, what is a max, right? Among them max is 1 only, right? Okay, so from here if I subtract 1, right, since we have to find out the minimum users to teach, right? So both the users here knows only one language, right? Both are different. So here minimum users to teach, I can say that total number of problematic users right? And now I can teach any one language, right? I can teach any one language. Maybe to this user I can teach two, right? Any one user, or I can teach one to this, then this condition will be satisfied, right? These two are already satisfied. Okay, so you can either teach user one the second language or user two the first language, right? So let's understand this same thing with this big example. Okay, then you guys will get much better idea. But these are the constant size. Okay, right? So here also you need to do same thing, right? N is equal to 3, and here total number of users 0, 1, 2 and 3. So total number of users M value is nothing but 4 here, right? And these are the friendships. So 1 comma 4 here, just change it to 0 based indexing, right? 0 comma 3. Okay, right? So 1 comma 4, right? Friendships is nothing but denotes the friendship between the user u and v. So if I am taking here 0 based indexing, so we don't have 4. Okay, so it's good if I do here 0 and 3. We don't have any 0 value here, right? So here 0 comma 1, this is nothing but you can say 2 comma 3, and this is nothing but you can say 1 comma 2, right? So now 0 and 3, I want to see if they can communicate with each other. So 0 knows 2 and 3 knows only 3, right? 3 knows only 3. They can't communicate with each other. So problematic set in a problematic set. Okay, this is set. I'm only adding the users, distinct users which I can communicate, right? This is done. Okay, there is issue here. Now one here 0 and 1, this one. Okay, so 0 knows 2 and 1 knows 1 comma 3. They can't communicate with each other. So 0 is already there. Now I am to add just 1. Okay, they can't communicate. Now next time you have 3 comma 4, right? 3 and 4. So 3 4, or we can say 2 comma 3, right? 2 comma 3. So 2 is nothing but 1 comma 2, and 3 is nothing but 3. They also can't communicate with each other. So we have 3 already here, right, in the problem set, but we don't have 2, so I'm adding 2. Okay, so now see, there are a lot of users who have problem, right? Problematic users are there, right? And then here 2 3, or I can say 1 comma 2, right? So 1 knows 1 comma 3, and 2 knows 1 knows 1 comma 3, and 2 knows 1 comma 2. They can communicate with each other, right? Good. So these are the problematic users, right? So now here 0 1, all are problematic users, right? 0 1 2 3, all these are problematic users. Okay, now here if you see, we have n is equal to 3, right? So we have a language 1, we have a language 2, we have a language 3, right? All these languages are there, right? So now here if you see 0 knows 2, right? 0 knows 2. So here I'm going to say that count of this language 2 is 1, right? Because this 0 knows, right? 0 knows this 2. Okay, now here 1 knows 1 and 3. Okay, 1 knows 1 and 3. So 1 count is going to become 1, and 3 count is going to become 1, right? Okay, and now here user 2 knows 1 and 2. Okay, user 2 knows 1 and 2. So user 2 knows 1. Okay, so one language is known by 2 people, 2 users now, and 2 language is also known by 2 users now, right? Clear? And here user 3 knows 3. So language 3 is known by one more person, right? So one more user, so 2, right? So now in total, how many problematic users I have in total? 4. 4 is the problematic users I have. From this, if I subtract the max of all these, right? Max of the known language, right? Max of the known language. So if I subtract the max of the known language, then I'm going to get the minimum users to teach, right? So here output is 2, right? So here you can pick any language, right? We have options 1 2 3, right? 1 2 3. Okay, so if I want to teach one, so I can teach it to this and to this, then everything is good, right? Clear? 0, and here if I add 1, that's it. Okay, now if you think of 2, so that we also can do, right? So instead of here 1 1, now just see this green color pencil. So if this I teach this user 1 2 language, and this user 3 also, if I teach language 2, right? Ignore this now, this one, then also I am teaching 2 users, right? Now same way, if I want to teach a language 3, so I can teach the language 3 to this one and to this one, then also I'm teaching 2, right? So we have to find the max, and we have to subtract among from this problematic users, right? If we do this, so we are going to get the minimum users to teach. Clear? So now let's write the code. Very simple, nothing complex here. Okay, So here what is you need to do here, first let's calculate the value of m, right? So your m is nothing but, or you can also simply use for each loop. Okay, so here first let's create one set. You can say set integer, and here you can say problematic users, and here just write new hash set. Done. So here step one is nothing but find all users who can't currently communicate with their friends. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use for each loop here over all the friends. Okay, so here for int, and here friendship. Okay, friendship in this friendships. All right, so this is nothing but my for each loop, right? And now inside this, let's take the value of u and v. So here u is nothing but, I'm going to say friendship comma 0, and here I'm just going to subtract 1, right? I'm just converting it to 0 based indexing, right? Same way here int v is nothing but friendship 1, and here I'm subtracting 1 from it. Okay, and now we have to check if they share a common language, right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create one set. Okay, and in the set I'm going to pass set is going to contain integers only, right? And here language is known by u, right? So u lengths, right? And here this is nothing but new hash set. Okay, now here simply use for each loop. So here int languages. Okay, languages in this. Okay, int lang in the languages. So now here we are iterating over all these, right, one by one. And for you we need to know, right? So here what I'm going to do, u length, right? And here languages at which index, at this u, right? So we are going to get this particular index, right? So here 0, so at 0 we need to check 1, so at 1 we need to check, right? So here I'm going to write it like this, and in u lengths I'm just going to add this particular language, right? Done. So this is for you, right? Now I have to check if they can communicate with each other. So first I'm going to here create one variable can communicate, and I'm going to set this value to false, right, initially. And then after that I'm going to iterate over all the languages of v, right? So here I'm going to write int lang in the languages of v, right? And here I'm going to check. Okay, I'm going to run one if condition here. If here you can say u lengths, okay, dot contains, right? If my set contains this particular language, right, of v, right? So in that case I'm simply going to update this can communicate, right, to true. Okay, they can communicate with each other, and I'm going to break it. Okay, done. And now here I'm going to check if they can't communicate, then we have to mark both users, right? So here I'm just going to write one if and can't communicate, right? So if this is the case, then in the problematic users I have to add both u and v. Okay, so problematic users dot add, here I'm going to write u, and here problematic users dot add, and here I'm going to write v. That's it. Okay, so this is done. Clear? Now let's move to the step. Here my for loop ends, and now let's move to the step 2. Count how many problematic users already know each language, right? So how many total languages we have? N, right? So here I'm going to create one variable language count is equal to new int, and it is a one based indexing, right? 1 to 2, n is 2, so means 1 to 2. So here we have tried n plus 1. Okay, so language index is from 1 to n, right? That is the reason I'm writing it like this. And now once this is done, and here max, create one variable max already known, and here's just set it to 0, right? So this is done. Now we have to iterate over all the users, right? The problematic users one by one. Okay, all the problematic users in my set. So here I'm going to write for int user, and here problematic users, right? Done. Okay, so now inside this I'm just going to iterate over all the languages one by one. Okay, for int lang in languages, okay, of this particular user, right? And now here I'm going to check first. I have to increment the count of the language he knows, right? So here language count of this particular language, okay, just increment it. And here also update this max already known as math.max of current language count. Okay, so here you can simply copy this. Okay, this I need max of this, or this max already known, right? So max already known, right? So this is done. Okay, so now I'm going to get the max already known value from here, right? The max known language, right? And now here this for loop ends. Now my step 3 is to find the minimum users to teach, right? So what is the minimum number of users to teach? So I can simply say the problematic users, right? This set. What is the size of this set, right? This. And from this I'm just going to subtract the max already known value. That's it. Okay, so now let's run the code and see if there are code issues. We'll try to fix that. So see, all the test cases has been accepted, right? Now let's submit it. So see, our solution is accepted, right? Now what is the time complexity for this problem? Okay, so here we are iterating over all these friendships, right? We are iterating over all these friendships. So I can say of f, and now inside this friendships I'm going to iterate over all the languages, all right? All the values of these languages for u, right? And then all the languages for this v, right, for this user. So let's say for this for loop I can say of lu, right? And for this one you can say of lv, right? So overall if I say, so this is nothing but it is going to be overall of f, right? Of f, and here multiply, right? So these two are inside this for loop, right? So I can say lu plus lv, right here. Okay, this is for this part. Then here also we are iterating over all the users of u, right? And here we are also iterating over all the languages known by those problematic users, right? Problematic users, right? So overall for this is going to be of u, of u, and into lus. Okay, this is also done, right? Now here if you see the constant size, so length is very small, right? So here friendships dot length is also from 1 to 500, and languages dot length is also very small, right? Languages dot length, it's nothing but m, right? So m is also until 500, right? So overall you can say the time complexity as okay, so here you can say f into this lu plus lv, right, plus this of u into lus, overall time complexity. Okay, so I hope that you guys are able to understand today's problem, and if you guys still have any doubts then please feel free to ask in comment section. Till then, keep coding and keep practicing. Meet you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.